In today's lesson, we're going to look at how we can effectively use our calculator to work out some of the more complex percentage of amount questions really quickly. In order to do this, we need to understand how to find out percentage multipliers of a percentage of an amount, a percentage increase, and a percentage decrease. So let's start off with percentage of amounts. If I want to work out the percentage multiplier, I need to convert that percentage into a decimal. I can do this by dividing by 100. So in my first example, I want to work out 70% as a multiplier. I would therefore do 70 divided by 100. Now, I can work that out in my head, although I do have a calculator that I can use now. So 70 divided by 100 gives me an answer of 0.7. Therefore, my percentage multiplier is 0.7. I can write that down. For my second example, I'm asked to write 29% as a multiplier. So again, I want to do 29 divided by 100 to convert it to a decimal. Using my calculator, I can do 29 divided by 100, convert my answer to a decimal, and that gives me 0.29. So, as a percentage multiplier, 29% is 0.29. Lastly, if I want to work out 185% of an amount, I do the same thing. 185 divided by 100, and again, if I'm unsure, I can use my calculator to help me. 185 divided by 100, convert it to a decimal, gives me 1.85 as my multiplier. So therefore, my multiplier for 185% is 1.85. Attached to show my homework is a worksheet on percentage multipliers. I want you to answer the first section, which is shown on the screen right now. Please pause the video and have a go at the questions, and when you're ready for the answers, you can unpause. So here are your answers. Please check them very carefully, and don't forget, for some of the more complicated ones, you can use your calculator to help you. So let's have a think about how we can use this idea of multipliers to help us work out this percentage of an amount question. It asks us to work out 39% of 570. The first thing I need to do is recognise that 39% is the same as 0.39 as a multiplier. That's 39 divided by 100. I can then say, to work out my answer, I need to do 0.39, that's the multiplier, times by 570, the amount that I want to work out 39% of. I can then use my calculator, type it all in, so 0.39 times by 570, and that will give us our answer. Convert it to a decimal, and I know that 39% of 570 is 222.3. So what I would like you to do is work out all of these percentage of amounts using your calculator and the idea of percentage multipliers. It's really important you get in the habit of writing down the percentage multiplier and what you're timesing by. In a test, this will be worth 1 mark, and the second will be for getting the right answer. That therefore means that anything that you put in your calculator you should write down as working out. Please pause the video and have a go at the questions, and once you're ready for the answers, you can unpause. Here are your answers. Please make sure, as always, that you check your answers very carefully, and if there are any mistakes, just take the time to try and correct them. Next, we need to think about the equivalent percentage multipliers if we are increasing by percentage. The best way to demonstrate this is through an example. So let's have a look at A. Because I am increasing an amount by 43%, this means I have the whole of the original amount, that's 100%, plus an extra 43%. That means what I end up with is 143% of what I started off with. I now want to convert this to a percentage multiplier. Therefore, I'd take 143 and divide it by 100. If I need to, I can obviously use my calculator to help me work this out. So, 143 divided by 100 converted to a decimal gives me 1.43. Therefore, my percentage multiplier for a 43% increase is 1.43. In part B, I'm asked to work out a 170% increase. This means I've got 100%, which is my original amount, plus an extra 170%. That means I'm going to be left with 270% of what I started off with. To get this as a multiplier, I therefore want to do 270 divided by 100, and if I need to, I can use my calculator to help me work this out. 270 divided by 100 converted to a decimal gives me 2.7. Therefore, the percentage multiplier of a 170% increase is 2.7. Lastly, part C asks me to think about a 5.6% increase. Again, I've got my original amount of 100% and I want to add on 5.6%. This gives me 105.6% that I want to convert into a percentage multiplier. To do this, I'm going to take 105.6 and divide by 100. And again, if I need to, I can use my calculator to help me. So, 105.6 divided by 100 converted to a decimal gives me 1.056. That means the percentage multiplier for a 5.6% increase is 1.056. I'd like you to go back to the original worksheet on percentage multipliers and have a go at the second section, which is on percentage increase. Please pause the video and have a go at writing down the percentage multipliers for each of the percentage increases displayed on the screen now. If you prefer, you can obviously print the worksheet out and write your answers directly onto it. Here are your answers. Once again, please check them carefully and make sure that you understand before moving on to the next section. Lastly, we need to consider how to get the percentage multipliers when we're decreasing by a given percentage. In order to do this, we need to work out, once we've done the decrease, what percentage of the original amount we have left. So for A, where we're asked to do a 3% decrease as a multiplier, I'm going to start off with my original amount, which is 100, and subtract the 3% off of it. That leaves me with 97% of the original amount. I therefore want to convert 97% into a multiplier. I can do this by doing 97 divided by 100. Now if I need to, I can use my calculator to help me work that out. 97 divided by 100 converted to a decimal gives me 0.97. Therefore, the multiplier of a 3% decrease is 0.97. In part B, we're asked to work out the multiplier of a 45% decrease. So, I start off with 100% again. This time I subtract 45%, and that means I'm left with 55% of the original total. I want to convert 55 into a percentage multiplier, so I need to divide it by 100. Again, I can use my calculator to help me do this, so I want to do 55 divided by 100, convert it to a decimal, and that gives me 0.55. That means, as a percentage multiplier, a 45% decrease is simply 0.55. And for part C, I want to do the same thing. So I've got 100% subtract 7.2%, and I want to work out what percentage I've therefore got left over. Again, if I wish to, I can use a calculator to help me work these parts of the question out. So 100 take away 7.2 gives me an answer of 92.8%. The next thing I want to do is convert 92.8% into a percentage multiplier. So I'm going to take 92.8, divide it by 100 and see what I get. Again, I can use a calculator to help me should I wish to. So 92.8 divided by 100 gives me a percentage multiplier of 0.928. So that means to decrease something by 7.2%, I need to multiply by 0.928. I'd now like you to return to your percentage multiplier sheet and complete the last section on that page. You can pause the video now, and once you've got all of your answers, unpause to check how you've done. Here are your answers. Please make sure you check your work very carefully, and if there's anything that you haven't quite got right, try and correct it now. The last part of this lesson is thinking about how we apply these percentage multipliers to specific increase and decrease questions. Let's start off by having a look at this percentage increase question just here. I'm asked to increase 440 by 9%. I know that if I want to perform a 9% increase, that means I've got 100% plus another 9%, which gives me 109% in total. As a multiplier, that's going to be 1.09. I want to times this by the amount that I'm trying to increase, which is 440, and I can then use my calculator to get an answer. So 1.09 times by 440 gives me an answer of 479.6. In the second example, I'm asked to decrease 470 by 31%. Just like before, if I'm decreasing this time by 31%, I need to work out what 100% take away 31% is. That means I'd be left with 69% left over. 69% as a multiplier is 0.69, and I want to times that by the amount I'm trying to decrease, which is 470. Again, I can use my calculator to work out this answer. So 0.69 times by 470 converted to a decimal gives me 324.3. Your final task for today is to complete these percentage increase and decrease questions. As with before, the absolute minimum of working out that I want to see is your percentage multiplier multiplied by the amount you're either trying to increase or decrease. In a test, this would get you 1 mark, and your final mark would be for getting the correct answer. So make sure anything that you put in your calculator you write down as working out. Please pause the video and have a go at these questions, and as always, if you prefer to work onto a sheet, this is attached on Show My Homework in the Resources to Help You section. Here are your answers. Please check your work extremely carefully, and once you are happy, take a photo of it and upload it to Show My Homework. If you are struggling to complete some of the work from today's lesson, then please do not hesitate to get in touch via comment on Show My Homework. I'll try to make myself as available as possible and get a reply to you as quickly as I can. If the issue requires a little bit more input from myself, I might ask to arrange a time to meet on Teams where I can give you some personalised help with that specific problem.